Hello, 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 and welcome to Lead, Laugh, Love. Dr. Brian Harman, Alex B. Sheridan, Ravi Rajani, Jonathan Palmar.
First thing I want to do is look inwards and say, why am I leading again?
If maybe we just trusted our employees a little bit more, I think more people, more bosses would be amazed.
People are truly having to rethink the way that they approach selling in this climate.
If you take a failure and you don't ask for feedback, then it's just failure. If you have failure, but then you ask for feedback, now it's growth.
When you start leading somebody, you have to understand, where do they want to go and how can I help them get there?
You may think that they're going to be the next VP of sales, and they may want something completely different.
Hey, it's not about the title, it's about the work. It's about the quality of the work.
I put absolutely everything into that moment, and I say to myself, this is the only thing that matters right now.
Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the finale of season 1 of Lead, Laugh, Love. You guys brought this to life. This has been so damn fun this year. So just got to get my appreciation and thank you out of the way. Thank you guys so much. The show we got lined up today for y'all is pretty meta. We have all had a pretty brilliant year in contexts and conditions that most would consider not brilliant. And I believe the key piece to that is because of these guys' adaptability and their ability to live life unscripted. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Dr. Brian Harman will not be with us today. He's actually sick. May have a little bit of the cocoa. We'll see what his situation is, but he does send his regards. He sent us a message, but it was full of expletives, so I'm not going to go ahead and read that message, but we do wish him well. And without further ado, Alex B. Sheridan will be hosting our show today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the season finale of Lead, Laugh, Love.
Damn.
What you gonna do?
Why is it JP's like this? He's the Beyonce thing. He misses the first 10 minutes and then boom, he's in the building for the actual show. I'm like,
you got to be, make an entrance. You got to be fashionably late,
Make an entrance, bro.
We can't hear you, JP. You're muted.
You're on mute. The king of LinkedIn has not figured out mute or unmute.
I'm here when the lights are on. That's the deal.
That's right.
It's all show, nothing behind it. Yeah,
guys, season finale. How crazy is that?
I mean, it feels good without Brian, right? It feels so refreshing.
It's a different vibe, isn't it?
It's so much nicer.
Different vibe. Well, look,
I do feel like something's missing. I do hope that he gets better.
Yeah,
exactly. It's better when
I hope he does
here.
get better.
Guys, 2020 has been a crazy, crazy year. A lot of good things, a lot of really challenging things. I think we all agree. And I think everyone's in a little bit of a different boat, depending on what you were doing before COVID happened and before this whole thing, took place. But we're going to talk about today is going unscripted, which is kind of what we're doing right now. We're not scripted. We're just talking. And everyone's, like I said, been affected differently from what's happened. But I think there's learning lessons in all of this. When you have to go super unscripted and you have a plan, a lot of people came into the year, okay, this is my plan. This is what I'm going to do. And then boom, some life event happens or some algorithm change happens, fucking LinkedIn. And all of a sudden now,
I don't know what you're talking about, Alex. I haven't even felt that algorithm change.
Jonathan's like, I'm not even doing videos anymore. I'm just, see you guys. I'm like, hold up. It's not, video ain't going away. Okay. Just pump the brakes. Pause the PowerPoint slides for a quick second. But you got to make changes. You got to adapt. You got to innovate, right? It's just the name of the game. So I want to hear from you guys. Talk to me about the biggest challenge that you were faced with this year so far? We're not done yet. And then how did you handle it? And what was the takeaway? What was a learning lesson that maybe our audience can learn from? Ravi, let's start with you.
Man. So, by the way, who likes my new mic? Look at this. Look at this, huh? Look at this. I don't sound like I'm in a school IT session anymore, people. I've upgraded my systems. I'm now, as I said to Travis offline, I've now got the 11-year-old I want to be a YouTuber starter kit. So we're in the game, okay? So let's move this down, okay? There we go. So I guarantee we're gonna talk about plenty of different things that happened this year. Let me kick it off with this. So in the back end of last year, I thought I had a chest infection, and I'm sitting there in the doctors for like the second or third time in a row, and it's like October 19, right? And they say, Rav, we think you've got a chest infection. That's what they said first time. Second time, actually, you know what? I think it's this viral infection or something like that. I was like, okay, antibiotics, nothing cleared up. They're like, oh, Rav, we think you've got asthma. Okay, go see specialist after specialist after specialist. Like, to give you an idea, I was just consistently coughing. Like, I literally every time I would speak, I would be coughing nonstop. This is
I remember you going through that. I remember that.
I told you about this.
Yep.
And I was really, really freaked out by it because I would go see doctors. I literally couldn't go to the gym because it would create this sensitivity in my lungs. I couldn't really speak for long periods of time, which, as you all know on the show, that is one thing that's super important to me because it's what I do on a day-to-day basis. I teach people how to become confident speakers. So it was, for me, at that time, I was leading a sales team in a startup. I needed that energy, and I was really struggling, man, because one thing I found really difficult was the lack of transparency or just knowing what it was. It wasn't a chest infection. It wasn't a viral infection. It wasn't pneumonia. It wasn't exercise-induced asthma. I thought it was. And anyway, long story cut short, after trial and error, I decided to go see an Ayurvedic doctor who I've seen before. My mum has used her before. And here's the interesting thing that came out. After 9-10 months of this consistent issue of not being able to speak effectively, coughing, not being able to exercise, one big factor was my breathing. And what's interesting is we forget that a lot of us actually breathe through our mouth. And once I started practicing more effectively, breathing through my nose, and trying different techniques, pressing reset, getting introspective, doing trial and error with different things started to improve. Now, granted, in the past 4 weeks, it's got bad again, but it's nowhere near as bad as what it was. And I think I was thinking about this before the show. What am I going to talk about? Because there's quite a few things that have changed in my life. But this is one thing which, I know people have had tons of health risks, tons of health issues in light of COVID, but I think one thing it taught me is that even when you want to be on form, even when you've got important speaking opportunities, you need to speak to your sales team, you need to film a video, you have to find a way to pivot to make something work. And interestingly, if all this hadn't happened in the past year, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to get introspective, think about my breath. And actually, the way that I'm looking at my breath now is helping me become a better speaker in the future, from now into the future. So weirdly, it's been, we call it a blessing, but it's been one of those opportunities for me to press reset and really say, am I living the lifestyle that I want? Is it contributing to this? The relationships, the stress that we hold it. Am I holding emotion in my chest? Is there something I'm not letting go of? All of these different things have started to pop up, and I'm asking myself these questions, which has enabled me to start pressing reset versus just being in this go mode, which is when we think we're invincible and we don't really get introspective. We forget to do the things that made us great. So weirdly, that's been from a health perspective, one of the big battles I've had in the past year.
Interesting. So you basically, a life event happens that you're like, oh my God, I can't breathe right. Like it's very disruptive. You're trying to figure out how you're going to solve this challenge, this problem. kind of worried a little bit too, probably a little concerned.
Totally.
But then
Totally.
all of a sudden, because it was so sudden and it was so disruptive, it forced you to slow down and
No choice.
reevaluate everything else,
Dude,
and
100%.
reflect. And I think that's the beauty in some of those really tough times, is they slow you down. They humble you a lot of times. Our video guys have been humbled and kicked in the nuts a couple of times this last couple of weeks. Yeah.
I was just going to say, on top of what you just said, the interesting thing I know it sounds crazy, but the other day, for the first time probably in my life, I was grateful for my voice. I delivered webinars and I wasn't gassed out. I delivered a day of podcasts, webinars. I was coaching in the evening with my clients, and I was like, wow, man, I feel so grateful. I feel so happy to be able to just speak without getting gassed out or coughing. I'm boring, JP. You see him yawning? Right? He's like, oh. But
it's oxygen. Take it in oxygen.
He's just breathing.
BS, bro.
To breathe.
So it does. It makes you feel grateful for the little things, man, which is we don't do when things are great. I know I'm bad at that, man. I'm bad at that.
It's harder to smell the roses when you're around the roses every single day versus when you're around a pile of dirt and then you see a rose. It's like, wow. So good point. What about you, JP?
I felt like this year it was the opposite. Like a lot of people felt like it slowed them down. I felt like this year sped me up just at a rate that I have not been able to keep up with. It's been insane because, like, at least in my case, there is so much, like I really do look at it as like there is a different kind of fear of missing out on LinkedIn, FOMO, right? The fear of missing out comes through opportunities, not so much vacation spots or, buying this car or buying this house or anything like that. It's fear of missing out on opportunities. And I feel like that could be, at a time like this, possibly even worse, because you feel like there's so much abundance. There's so many different opportunities. People are constantly sending you messages saying, hey, let's collaborate. Let's grab like an online coffee or whatever they call it. Just like all of this abundance of online opportunities to, create, business or money or whatever you might have. And then like my biggest challenge has just been stretching myself too thin and figuring out which opportunities are worth the effort. But my biggest fear is, okay, I've hit this like amazing opportunity, first time in my life where I feel like, I've really found something that fits who I am. And there is such a strong fear that I'm not taking 100% of the opportunity, taking advantage of it. And like if I miss out on anything, like what are the repercussions? Am I going to regret it later? So yeah, like the sacrifice has come in the form of just not sleeping. I'd say like 3 nights a week. Like I do not sleep at all, just going straight through. So, I don't know what the long-term impact of it. What's that?
What are you doing all night?
Working.
You don't want to know, man. It's not safe for this chat. That's like an 18
Dude,
plus.
Legitimately working. Yeah. So, but again, it's that fear. It's that fear that, we don't want to miss out on those opportunities.
Is it something you feel like you really need to do, or could you spend your time a little differently? Could you outsource certain things? Is it some of it just the fear of missing out, or do you feel like you're not going to be?
I think that outsourcing is a big part of it, right? Because like, I think, a part of it is our own ego. Like we don't want to give away power, because if somebody else can do what I do, then maybe they won't need me anymore, right? So I think that some of it is that vulnerability. Like, are we willing to let somebody into our process, learn what we know, and then, maybe they could replace us? That's a scary feeling. It is something that I do fight. I guess the rest of it is like this. It's a tough conversation, but if I'm being completely honest, and I'm sure like the guys in this room can relate, sometimes it seems like everybody's mad at you because you can never answer, messages quick enough. You can never be detailed enough. If you have to like be quick on a conversation, move on to the next, like you feel like you're disappointing people because you couldn't give them your complete attention. So it's also that it's like managing your time and figuring out, okay, well, how can I, give a little bit of myself to each person, but also what I guess some people don't recognize is some of us are introverts. We're not naturally these hyper energetic people. We can be, for short bursts of time. Right. But like every time that you have a conversation with someone, you give away a little bit of yourself, you give away a little bit of your energy. So it's also just like it can be draining. I don't want to complain. It has been a significant balancing act that I'm still trying to master myself.
Yeah. Well, I'll be super honest. This year for the most part has been really, really good for me and my business. And I hate to say that because I know it's been super challenging for a lot of people and people have lost their jobs. But I've also tried to help a lot of people in the process. So I feel like I've helped contribute as much as I can. But it was crazy because COVID hit. I was working my full-time job, and then all of a sudden COVID hits, and my business was to help people become better virtually, better on camera, better on video, and create their brand that a lot of folks just didn't have, especially 9 or 10 months ago. So it took my business and it just like catapulted it because of the fact that everyone felt the need all of a sudden to get super virtual, to have a video presence, to have a presence on a place like a LinkedIn, where if you weren't on there, it's like, where do people even find you? How do they know who you are? How do you show up as a thought leader? All the live events got canceled. All the shake your hand type meetings are gone. So you had to know how to send video DMs. You had to know how to run a good Zoom meeting. You had to know how to create good video content. But if I'm being super honest, the challenging part of this entire year was the last 2 weeks, because it made me think, because the video algorithms have tweaked, and some of it's elections I saw already Friday, and today it's like coming back, engagement is good and stuff like that. So I didn't think, and I'm talking about, for those of you who don't notice, the algorithm changed for video, or at least has updated or whatever it's going through. And we're not getting as many views. It's across the board, pretty much everyone. Certain videos do better, obviously. The engagement is still pretty good, but the views are down. And so it's not the end of the world, but it made me think about, man, what do I really do? And am I overly leveraging myself in one or two key areas? And I'm like, it made me think. Justin asked the question, what do you do if LinkedIn's gone tomorrow? And I think that the answer to that is, if you're only a LinkedIn video expert and all of a sudden LinkedIn's gone, you're effed, right? You're kind of effed because you put all your eggs in one basket. But if you're helping people market their business, their products and services through video, through audio, you're helping people unleash their creative, which I was talking to a friend, Jared, who mentioned, dude, you don't just do LinkedIn video. You help people unleash their potential, unleash their creative, market their products and services. You're helping them have a voice, which JP, I think you would agree, we do the same, in Ravi, same thing, right? So I think it really caused me to think, one, like, I need to show up in more places. And as tough as it is in the hours in the day, it's really tough sometimes. I need to go test and try and show up in more places, because who knows, that could be the next big thing that's bigger than LinkedIn. It's very easy once you've done well on here to be like, okay, keep getting better, keep innovating, but like, things are going quite well. And then boom, something hits and everything changes. And the last couple of weeks, I've been like, I will never, ever, 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 ever let one platform leverage me to a point where I feel like if it went away, I wouldn't have a business. I will never let one medium, one form of content put me in a position where if it started to slow down, that I'm non-existent. So I'm on different platforms. I'm testing new forms of content. I'm still keeping the 70 to 80% of stuff that has gotten me to this place, because I think the other lesson is you abandon everything. And it's like, whoa, slow down. Like, what got you here in the first place? Like what's the worst case scenario that's going to happen with video? No one does video, and I'm the only person that's creating creative, original content. Okay. Like, I'd love to see the market share stats on that, because I'm going to fucking crush everybody. But like, that's not going to happen, right? It's not going to happen. So I'm fired up about this, if you can't tell. So I just play it out. Just play it out. Yes. Do we have to change? Absolutely. You're going to start to see some different video content from me. Yes, you are. You're going to see me show up in different places. Fucking 100% you are. Are you going to see me pull out more creativeness than I've ever had to pull out before, more innovation every single day? Yes, 100%. You have to pivot. You have to adapt. You have to take a challenge and turn into an innovation. You have to grow as a person. You have to grow as a business. Like, these are all the things that the tough challenges make you do. They force you to do, or you don't, and then you perish. So it's like, you're either going to adjust with time, or time is going to adjust you. And so this past 2 weeks has been crazy. it's been like, oh my God, what the hell is going on? What am I going to do? You know, and then it's been like, all right, chill out. It's fine. It's good. You've got a good thing going, tweak, test, try. And then it's been like, I'm going to crush it. This is going to launch a whole new aspect of things I've never even thought about before. I can help people in brand new ways. And so I think I've leveled out now, and I'm like, all right, I know where I'm going now. I know the path. I know what I'm going to keep that's worked. I know what I'm going to test and try that I haven't before.
Like us starving artists, we get too romantic, man. Like we get too romantic with this stuff. And it's like we don't realize, like in our own minds, like especially in my mind, I was like, no, I can only do my videos. Like I have to do it my way, you know? And I was paralyzed at the thought of doing any other kind of content, you know?
Yeah.
But as soon as I put it out there, and you know, it actually was my highest performing post ever, was a slider. Like halfway, I was angry and kind of like hurt because, you know, it doesn't seem like there's any correlation between whether it's video or slider. People are going to show up for whatever, you know. But just through that one experience, it taught me a really valuable lesson. It's that it doesn't matter. You know, all of it is your voice, whether it's that you're handwriting it, whether, you know, you're typing it, whether it's your voice yelling it, it doesn't matter. All of it was written, you know, and thought from you, and you're sharing it. So whatever the means is, you know, as long as, go ahead.
Sorry, man. I didn't mean to interrupt. That's a fantastic point. By the way, do you enjoy sliders though? Do you enjoy making those? Do you feel like that's the future?
No, not at all. I hate them.
That's why you won't see me do sliders, because I think there's other, and I know they work, and I know they worked really well for you. I'm happy for you, but I also think that like fucking they're PowerPoint sliders. Like I don't think that's the way. That's why I thought they would fail. But I don't think that's the future. And Sid was like, written content or written word killed the video star. I know he's joking because Sid's a great guy.
Oh, it's so Joel Lagley paid you to say that bullshit, didn't he?
But here's the deal, guys. Look at the this is where you have to take your like LinkedIn hat off. You don't want to see my hair right now. This is where you have to take your LinkedIn hat off and be like, yo, what's the future look like? Let's look at just the future of everything, how we communicate as human beings. Like the hottest platforms are all video. Think of TikTok, right? You can't even write a text post on TikTok, right? It's the fastest growing platform in the country or in the world. Let's look at like, you know, podcasting, audio messaging, the Alexas, you know, everything's audio. You're going to speak and then it's going to buy something for you. That is where things are going. And there's no way it's going to go backwards, right? 100%. Not to say that text isn't going to be around. I'm starting to use text post. I'll do one tonight. So it's not that you can't use them. Books are going to be here for a little while. But what is also popped up? Audio books, like, you know, YouTube videos, listening to them on your drive, wherever you're going. So I think you got to look at the long term, creating, first of all, helping people have a voice and marketing their product and service is never going to go away for the history of human beings. And so secondly, creating video or audio or a mix of content that captures an audience's attention and helps them to take action to where you want them to go or to create a follower community, that's always going to be there. How you do it changes, but it's always going to be there.
Here's the interesting thing, right? So I was on a webinar 2 weeks ago. 45 people showed up to this webinar to hear me deliver this 60-minute workshop. None of them, no context. None of them have been following me on LinkedIn. I'm not on any other platform. And I was speaking to a coach of mine, probably like a month before that. And he spoke about the concept of omnipresence and about why people need context. So the interesting thing is you can hop on a discovery call with somebody who's seen your content on LinkedIn 20, 30, 40 times. And the conversation is very different to somebody who's not seen your content at all. Now, weirdly, I'll be honest, I wasn't really ruffled by this opportunity. This concept of video views having gone down. Very similar to what Alex said, because videos will always be an amazing tool for people to get to like, trust, and know you. It's just the context and the level of how holistic we are as, you know, people who produce video has to change. So I've been thinking for a month or two anyway. I was like, man, I am so over reliant on these platforms. What would change in my business if I actually started to repurpose this content? And I realized I just got lazy, man, because things were working for me on LinkedIn and I was having great conversations with people and I just got lazy with it. I started to have discovery calls with people who I had a few today, one today. And this lady, there was no context. It's so different. That's not her problem. That's mine. I am not repurposing the content for other platforms. So for me, video is always going to be video, man. People are going to watch video, but it's a perfect opportunity to go back into introspection, start viewing how we are as individuals who are growing our businesses and actually say, well, why are we not on other platforms? Is it ego? Because we think, oh, we got to start again from there. We've got authority here. Like, what is it? What is it stopping it? Is it because we've got too many friends on that platform and we don't want them to see what we're doing? Is it because we've got to start from zero? What is it? And I think it's actually a really cool time to ask those questions.
I think that this is the reason why I wouldn't do it too soon, because you see it all the time. It's kind of like when the Beatles broke up a little bit too early, you know, like Ginger Spice left the Spice Girls. Justin Timberlake thought that he could do it without the other, you know, NSYNC members. Like there's always like that one person, you know, or people that believe that they can break away from the thing that made them and that they are going to experience the same success trying it somewhere else, where a lot of times we need to get out of our own ego and recognize, okay, I have this thing. It works. It's a proven method, right? Like, let me stick it out a little bit longer, get the most out of it, milk it a little bit, and then hopefully leverage everything that I learned there and take it somewhere else. So, you know, like, and that's very much how I view it. So that's why I would stick to just LinkedIn a little bit longer until because what's really interesting, and I've shared this a couple of times, but it's great to mention it now, is because it's been even more significant, is, you know, people will inherently search for you in other places, despite the fact that I have not updated my Instagram in like 4 years. People are adding me in the hundreds on Instagram because of my LinkedIn presence, and people want to see, oh, is this person somewhere else? You know, is this person on Facebook? So without even trying, without even putting effort, people want to see other chapters of your story. They know the chapter that I present on LinkedIn, but what about the prequel? Okay, well, that was on Instagram, right? So, you know, I think that we don't have to put a ton of effort in. As long as we built a strong place in one place, they'll find us in other places. So
here's the interesting thing about what JP just said. So I was on the trading floor. And I left in 2016, but I was on the trading floor of a large US investment bank. And there was a point where, as salespeople, as sales traders on the floor, I was in a department called foreign exchange, buying and selling currency. And what happened was they would talk about machines taking over our roles. And there was this huge, oh, don't worry about your job, bro. It's going to be redundant in like 5 years. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about that. And look, there was an element of certain desks, certain divisions within the foreign exchange department where computers could do their role in a more efficient way and in a more cost-efficient way. But here's one thing that computers can't do, was using the emotional intelligence to make certain decisions. And what was interesting was there was this big hype, but actually those who didn't resist, allowed the trend to really come and reinvent themselves, were the ones who won. For example, I can't tell you, and this may, strike a nerve, but I've got in a lot of what we call black cabs over here in the UK. And there's been so much resistance towards Uber still. Still, they will not reinvent. They simply will not. They'll do everything to resist. And then I met another black cab driver. He said, dude, the moment Uber came round, I chucked it in. I went in straight into Uber. I went all in. I'm making more money than I ever have. And I've got a better lifestyle.
Boom.
So the resistance is real, but it's how do we react to it? It's the ego. It's so much of it. Yeah. It's just, I just find it fascinating, bro. When these moments happen, it's really interesting to watch.
Well, there's certain times I think that you feel like it's the right thing to do, to go all in on something, abandon something else and go. Yeah. I feel like that with my business when, I really started this business, helping people with marketing and video on LinkedIn in February. I won my first client. It was And I decided to go all in on it at the beginning of the year because it just felt right. It just felt like it was going to be the thing. It felt like it had a long runway, and I still think it does. LinkedIn's not going anywhere, even though the algorithm changed. Like, it's still the 175th most downloaded app on the App Store. So it's like people still aren't there's no massive mainstream buzz on it yet. But it caused me to say, and then when I quit my full-time job in July, I was like, I'm going all in. I'm ditching the full-time job, putting in my notice. I'm going all in on this. So I think there's certain times where it just makes sense for you to, like, you got to drop what you're doing and go a different direction. And then there's other times right now where it's like, God, keep 80% of the stuff that's working, because this stuff is what got you here and got us here, and test and try with the other 20%. And so I think there's definitely a balance between, you don't want to, because the worst thing you could do is pivot or change things too quickly. And look, the algorithm could change in 2 weeks from now, and all of a sudden it's back to completely normal. And then if you abandoned everything, it's like, oh shit, I just got rid of so much. I changed my programs, I changed all this stuff. And so I think that's where you got to think about the future, not just one update. And I think if you think about the Uber taxi example, that person probably thought about, what's the future though? Regardless of like how UK takes it and how the next 2 weeks play out, what does the future look like? Let me look at other places and other aspects and see what's going on there. And that influences my decision on where do I go and what do I do? Like, so I think the cab driver was smart, because he was like, well, chances are like apps are going to be big for a while. Everyone wants information and access at their fingertips, which is what Uber is. It's probably going to wipe out the cab industry, which it pretty much did, or if not already. And it just seems like it's probably going to be the future. So
Alex, you mentioned a really interesting point here, which I'd love to touch on, which is, let's say you double down, okay? Like you double down, like you and JP, you double down on LinkedIn content. Now, you and I have recently got access to live, right, Alex? So I know now I'm starting to think, well, how can I show up on live aggressively? Yes, in 2020. So whether it's doing a live every day for the next 30 days, that's been on my mind, right? What is the one way to double down? And actually, I got thinking, well, hold on. If I'm doing that, why can't I just stream it to YouTube as well? So it's not necessarily about, okay, changing the strategy, but it's like, how can we use the same thing and contextualize it for other things instead of just being, I know for me, it was just laziness. I'm like, oh, I could do that, but LinkedIn's cool, man. But why not? Why not stream it to YouTube, etc.? So it's certain things I'm playing with.
Well, that's totally right, man. And even if you think about live streams, more and more people are starting to get them right. So I always think about marketing a lot of marketing is like being innovative and standing out and having something that maybe it's a similar product, but the way you position yourself is so differently. That's why I started doing the videos and the green screen. I mean, it started off not that way, but once I caught on to it, I was like, this is going to be the thing, because I'm going to position myself in such a unique way. I'm going to deliver content in a way that no one else is doing, and I'm instantly going to stand out. And that's what happened. But then I think about lives. We've got a new live show that we're launching tomorrow that I can't say what it's about.
Who's it with?
I'm actually legit. No, me and two other people. I'm actually legit nervous about doing that. Like, that's how out of the box. It's different. But I think about that. I'm like, okay, everyone's doing LinkedIn Lives now. How do you do something that's different? That says, yeah, have you seen that LinkedIn Live? Yeah, it's not just a live. They're not just talking, like they're doing this. It's like, oh shit, no, I haven't seen that. You know what I mean? And so the same way that you look on YouTube or TikTok or wherever you're at, how do you create a unique experience for the customer? And sometimes it is as simple as like, you just upload something to, you do a YouTube or a long form content you put on YouTube, and then you take splices and you put it on LinkedIn. Sometimes it's as easy as repurposing. Other times it's like, how do you innovate? And then how do you look back 6-12 months and everyone's doing what you're doing now, and you're like, I'm the person that created this movement.
Dude, and I think that's something that a lot of people miss out on. Like you said it right there, Alex. Like, like Travis will laugh at me and other people will laugh at me, but I really do view my content as an experience. I don't view it as, I don't view it as like I'm just posting something to check the box, Yeah, totally. I really try to view it from the standpoint of, I want this to be like entertainment. I want it to be an experience. While everybody is running full force in the rat race, I want to be the guy like on the sidelines selling Kool-Aid as people run that rat race, like you guys can keep doing your thing, keep running, but like I want to be the Kool-Aid on the sidelines because I'm going to stand out in comparison. So, and I want to be a tool. I want to be that value. I want to be that drink you need, as opposed to just trying to, compete in that direction. But I do find that by like positioning myself as like my content as an experience where highly entertaining, different, kind of like Alex is doing, that like the aftertaste is a little bit different, and the audience retention is a little bit better. So what do you guys think of that?
You know what I'm waiting for? Like, I hope Alex is going to do this, but I've been watching so much Wild and Out. Do you know Nick Cannon, Wild and Out? Tell me you know it, right?
Mhm.
I'm waiting for the first LinkedIn Live Wild and Out style show. Dude, I would love that. If anyone wants to do it, I'll be the host. I'll do it for free, I promise. If anybody in the comments wants to produce that, let me know. I'm in. I would love something like that. It'd be so fun. But I see what you're saying. I think I'm a little bit less romantic with, this is me personally, with the experience. I'm a little bit more, sometimes I can flip into the creative, but I like to be sometimes bulldozed where I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Depends what kind of mood I'm in. Like right now with the LinkedIn Live, I'm thinking, it doesn't have to be sexy, 30 days, maybe we do it, just bulldoze your way through it and then make it pretty. Because I think sometimes at the beginning, we can worry too much about the experience that we never get going and we don't show our true selves. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, I think you got to go, dude. In the beginning, it's like, how do I get started? How do I shoot my first video? Fucking pull out your camera and hit record. I think you gotta test and try and things. Like we're doing this new LinkedIn Live show. I have no clue it's going to work. It may be terrible, but I don't care. I can't tell you. You just got to tune in tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Have you signed an NDA or something, bro?
I'll do a post about it later tonight. But that's where you have to like literally. One thing I've learned too is like put my ego aside. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Yeah. I'll keep trying. I'll keep testing. I'm not leveraging everything on this LinkedIn Live tomorrow. Like we're just hopping on and we're doing it. I'm not like changing I'm just doing something different. I'm going to test and try it. It's, on a day that I wasn't going to post anyways, we're going to do it. We're going to have some fun. I think it's going to work. But if it doesn't, we'll pivot and do something else. Like people are very scared to try things. Like people have I was talking to someone today, literally on a call earlier today. And I was talking about if I could draw really well, I would do one post a week with a cool ass message. I'm gonna have one come out this week. I should, where it's like a drawing, but there's a badass message. Like I would leverage my drawing strengths. If I could sing, I would figure out ways to add in the singing. And she was like, "Oh, I can sing," and I'm like, "No shit." And she sang for me. I'm like, "You got to incorporate that into your content, like once in a while, at least. It's so different. It's your strengths. That's how you unleash your creative." So like, I think people have to really. People are in a box a lot of times. That's part of my mission is to get people out of the box and to show them that you got to try and test different things and you got to put away the ego. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's not you. It's just, it didn't work.
That's what I really like about you. Alex.
Also something that.
Thanks, bro.
Go on, JP.
I really like to tie everything up with a nice
in and out. JP, your cheap Miami Wi-Fi internet, it keeps going in and out.
Yeah.
You need to talk to Shay. She needs to upgrade me over here.
Let's go, Shay.
It's like,
Shay. You got the money.
It's like that.
Has it really been like that this entire time? Maybe it's because I have 15 tabs open.
In spots. Anyways, hit us. What were we going to say?
Yeah, like, and one of the things that I do want to highlight, as we kind of like finish this, it is the season finale, is also the importance of collaborating. Yes. The importance of getting those, because like Alex, you even said it, like you're about to go into this project, you're working with 2 other people, and like it's that element of collaboration. It's the element of having guys like you guys in this room having these types of conversations, all playing to different strengths. Like if all of us were about creating experience content, nothing would ever get done. Like we need the Ravis and we need the the Travises, the action takers. We need the Brians. Why do we need Brian?
Where is he? Where are you, Brian? You just got burned, bro.
Yeah, but we need Brian for like the humor and the intellect. But I think, but the point is that yes, like, and I want to touch on that really quickly, that element of collaboration, because I know that I would not be nearly as good as I am right now if I didn't have guys to inspire me like Alex or Ravi. Like that's the thing. Like. I'm gonna be completely honest. I have stolen elements of all of you in my style. Of course. Ravi's presentation style. I pay attention to the way he talks. I could never do his accent, but the way that he delivers a message, I've stolen his shit.
Alex, like, dude, I have a green screen because of Alex. No lie, 100%. Alex inspired me because I keep my eye on my competition. It's smart. But most importantly, I want to work with my competition. I want to work alongside and grow with my competition. I don't want to work against them. So, yeah, what do you guys think of collaborating?
Dude, I you know, like you said, Alex is about to do this new show, which he can't speak about because he's in an NDA. But there's so much beauty in collaboration. But I'll be real, I've had this sort of moment creep in a couple of weeks ago, and it's starting to happen every weekend where I take a break from LinkedIn on the weekends. I say I'm going to delete the app, and I download it like an hour later. But like I'm off on LinkedIn really the whole weekend. And I do get this feeling of, I get excited to, it's like go back and chat with my friends. Like a Monday is a really, really nice day to get back into this routine of collaborating with each other. And it just makes me feel, I don't know, it gives me that connection, which I'm really, really missing in COVID. It's something that I've really, really missed. And it's really starting to resonate more and more, is that connection. And I really feel collaboration, especially with guys and girls that you can really resonate with, it feels so good, man. It feels so nice and different, which we can't do that at the moment. I'm in lockdown over here in the UK. It's me, these four walls, my dog, and my fiance. It's just us, and it's really nice to be able to do these things. So collaboration from the business aspect, no doubt you can learn things. I've learned so much from yourself, I hate to say it, Brian, as well as you, JP, but also from the human to human aspect, it's done so much for me and my mindset, my mental health, my motivation for how I execute on things, like the subtle little things. You know, it helps you with when I feel good. If I hop on a discovery call now, I'm closing that person because my frame is going to be so great, right? My energy is going to be good, and it just helps in ways that we don't often think about.
Yeah, I agree, Ravi. I'm all about collaboration, and I think bigger picture, like, you got to surround yourself with people that are going places, people that are making things happen. Like and I think about you guys. Of course, I've taken things from Ravi. Of course, I've taken things from JP. Brian, not so much, but I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Brian. We love you. We love you. But I know, like, from a competitor standpoint, I know JP is going to bring it every week. So I cannot slack because I know that man's going to bring it every single week. It's like going out on the field. And your competitor's been training, they've been practicing, and you give them a fucking high five. You go and do your thing, you battle it out, and then you come out the other side. Good game, brother. Good game. Let's grab a drink. And so I think that's,
just to be honest,
really
I got an entire robot army on my side. So I don't know if I might have like a little bit of an unfair advantage there.
But I trust JP. There's things that we talk about privately that I would never share with anyone, and just like I share with his rush. That he would never share with anyone either, because we respect each other and we trust each other enough in that regards. But then at the same time, we're sort of on the battlefield. So that's a healthy competition.
JP has a rash. JP has a rash. Him and Alex keep talking about his rash. Guys, let's just be real. It's his rash. Alex helped him ship in some Sudocrem from the UK.
Guys, I just can't believe this is the last episode. You remember, like, leading up to this and everything that went into it? I mean, we talked for 10 weeks about doing all this different stuff, and then we're like, F it. We're just going to go live. Like, we literally had so many ideas. Oh, man. I can't believe
your favorite moments. I'm curious. If all of you had to pick one moment, what's in that one moment?
Jonathan's baby bitch
that
line.
Full House video
was for sure it.
Ooh, that was a good one. I'm a baby bitch. and then the label came up. Baby bitch.
Yeah.
That was good.
I don't know. I enjoy every Monday, guys. It's been a good getting to know you guys better, and also it's been a good experience. Just testing out like LinkedIn Lives, interacting with the crowd. Like, it's just been good. You got to get out there and put yourself out there.
But here's the question: Is everybody coming back for season 2? We got I'm
in.
Commitments from everybody.
I'm in.
I'm in, but we got
auditions.
Yeah, I want to sign up commercials. I want to sign up commercials with the agents. We got to speak to the execs. I'm joking. I'd love to, man. It'd be fun. We should definitely do it again. But I think season 2, we got to come out harder. We got to do more like, Travis, can we get some Wildin' Out style, like, game shows We got to get some fun stuff in here.
Yeah,
bro,
We're
that's
crowd into
if
How about
anybody would
some like
ever
female
listen.
energy?
Yeah.
Some women in the group, like just to kind of like diversify it a little bit, you know?
Mhm.
That's
JP, are you
literally-
coming back?
Oh shit!
Yeah, I'm
No, I
coming
didn't mean.
back,
No, I
of
didn't.
course.
I didn't mean it like that. I was
Yeah.
just asking a
Yeah.
question. Are you coming back?
Am I going to be the chick? I don't plan on. I don't plan on transitioning the next couple months.
The
Yeah.
timing of that
Timing.
question was off. It was not meant to say. For you to go. I was
Am I gonna
literally
be-
just
am I
asking,
gonna
are
be
you
the
coming
female
back?
Ninja Turtle? Yes, of
Are you?
Yeah.
You are cool.
He saw that.
course.
If JP's back, I'll come back. It's like Jordan and Phil. You know, we just you got. Are you
There
coming
we
back?
go.
Unless Phil's coming back.
Yeah.
I love it.
You know
All
what?
right, cool.
It's
So who I guess Brian's not here. He's getting swapped out for a female expert.
yeah, he doesn't know it yet. He does know now. You know, he knows
Brian
it
with his
now.
long. My favorite parts are Brian's long pauses where he's just like,
Thanks.
You know,
Thanks.
Michelle.
Yeah.
It's a good question, and one of the, and then Robbie's like, "You're a dentist, bro. You're a dentist." Like, I am a
It's just
doctor.
like I want to figure out like and also what I loved about Brian is that like every week his office upgraded 3 steps. It's just like he really makes me feel like poor as fuck when like every week his office looks better and bigger. So really making me reevaluate the type of coaching I gave him. Need to take some of that advice myself.
Funny.
Love it. Judith says in the comments, great show, guys. You should go. Let me start again. Great show, guys. You should go unscripted more often. Judith, this is always unscripted, my friend.
Well, things that I didn't even know I was the
That's
host coming in today. I was like, "What do we?" I had no clue what we were talking about. Didn't know I was the host, and then I was like, "Yeah, "Let's go!" Like the whole thing's unscripted.
It is.
What we
LinkedIn
don't-
Truth
what we
or
don't do
Dare.
is,
Leah
like,
Turner
what-
says we should
what
do
we
a
don't do is
LinkedIn Truth or Dare. Oh, damn, that would be good. That would.
Yeah. Any
well, Leah
season 2
needs to join us for that
suggestions
one.
That
We'll
would be
be
good.
open.
The one thing we don't do though, you'll just have to tune in tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Oh my god.
What?
He just did a plug for his show.
I've done a couple.
Now
okay.
I'm legit curious now.
Nervous.
Wait a second. Did Alex use this entire hour to promote his next venture? I just want
Next
to
time
clarify.
on Alex's live show.
100% he did. He did. It's like me saying something like, look, if those of you want to hear about my 12-week powerhouse speaker bootcamp, you can I'm not going to do that. I'm not Alex, so I'm not really like that.
You
Well,
wouldn't do
we're
that,
at the end of the last 2 minutes, 1 minute anyways. So we are running out of time unless we wanted to crack open anything else. We will pass on cracking open the room. I don't think we have the time to do that this episode. That zipped by. Apologies for anybody that was hoping to do that, but would love to just see if you guys in the audience have any ideas for season 2. We got a few things brewing, but we are open to your guys' input. Always evolving.
Let's give our thoughts for the
Yeah, Judith,
quick recap.
Vasha, Leah,
mine.
hit us with your thoughts, ladies.
Here's
I'm
mine.
curious.
I've been super grateful to be a part of this. It's been a good experience. Like I said, it's been amazing to get to know all of y'all better and engage with the audience in a better way, in a more unique way. And I've had some fun. It's been a great time, and I definitely am coming back for season 2. Here's what I'd say though: season 2, we got to be a little bit more bold. We got to take some chances. We got to try some things. And so I think this was the run. This was let's just do it. Let's go. Let's dive in. And then next season we're going to come back with a bang. You guys wait. Just watch.
Boom, baby. Lots of people saying there should be late. Vasha says there definitely should be a woman in here. Who knows? Who knows how? But I've enjoyed just hanging out with my friends on a Monday every single evening. It's just made things a little bit better. It's just fun. Just like, I don't know how else to explain it. It is just simply fun. And I think it's a shame Brian couldn't be here to round off the season, but I'll be back in season 2 for sure. But I'm just going to keep plugging this. I want a Wild and Out style LinkedIn live show. That would be funny. That would be real funny. But yeah, I've enjoyed it so much. And here's a cool thing, to round it off, is that we're just it's just a chat. It is truly unscripted. It's just we find out the topic. There's a host every single week, and boom, we go. And I think that's the beauty of it. There's no preparation, and it's just fun. And for this season, it worked. But for next season, we need that Wild and Out style show, bro. Come on.
Are you gonna rap?
I don't freestyle. Well, I'm not a good rapper, but you know what? There's loads of different segments they do, right? They do rap. They bring in people from the crowd. There's like I've been binging on Wild and Out, and I've been thinking, oh my god, there's so much we could do here. But yeah, man. But I'm a big fan of kicking it with you guys, and I'll see you gents in season 2.
JP, any final words, brother? For this beautiful season?
So I remember. It was Justin, Sam Downs, and Travis, myself. We did the Morning Madness show a little bit earlier in the year. And I remember, Justin had a lot of family commitments and, Sam kind of the same deal. And I was a little bit upset because I enjoyed spending some time with my friends on a Monday morning and I wanted to keep that going. So I remember reaching out to Travis and saying, hey, Travis, I got these 2 cool guys. They got like a really nice dynamic in our boot camp program, Shay's program. And it was Ravi and Brian. And I was like, these guys, they don't have a ton of exposure right now, but man, if we could just put them together in a room, I know it would be magic. But I felt like something was still missing. Even if it was me, Brian, and Ravi, there was still a missing element. I needed somebody that had that creative energy. As creative as Brian and Ravi are, I needed somebody like a rebel, like an outlaw character, the Han Solo. and that's where, I found Alex. And just to be able to kind of help and facilitate, put all these guys together in one room and see what it's turned into, it's really cool. So proud of all these guys that they've made so much of it and they've stayed so committed to it. I'm the guy that'll show up a minute before the show goes live, but I do feel like I kind of I was pivotal in putting everybody together, and it's really nice to see everybody come together and make so much of it. So yeah, guys, great job, and thank you for being so committed.
This was brilliant. I think just to wrap things up here, in the spirit of Unscripted, we literally had no idea where this was going. That moment Jonathan was just mentioning, Justin Reynolds came into the Zoom room sideways on his camera, like we're trying to figure out how Zoom works. Like, what is this? It was like peak COVID era. And I just think of that moment as like such symbolism of how far we've come, producing different shows, interviews, to a 24-hour live stream, all the micro content, the trailers, everything we got. There's some magic here. So to everybody here in the audience that's either been a part of that journey or just tuning in wondering what the hell is going on here, lean into those moments of improvising and those unscripted, unplanned moments in life, because they really do come to life in brilliant, beautiful ways. Other times they're complete messes and you have to adapt and evolve. But I can strongly say that my life is in so much of a better place thanks to the guys in this room, Dr. Brian included, wherever the hell he's at, sending him well wishes. But just wanted to send that sincere thank you. If there was any other final words that you guys wanted to throw here, we have stretched over the time, but I don't really care.
Dude, Trav, just one thing from me.
Yeah,
we couldn't have done like all of the amazing 80s trailers and all the cool stuff you put together, man. Like, so much gratitude for that. Like, I don't think you get enough of a shout out. And I just think, dude, like, bro, you crushed it. Like, you're a genius, dude, with this stuff. Like, much love to you, dude. Thanks, man.
Well, speaking of, I got one of those loaded up here to go ahead and wrap up the show.
Dang, let's do it,
guys.
Sharing screen, sharing audio.
All right, guys, bring it in. Let's get a fist.
I was going to do that, but it's a bit awkward.
Hello, and welcome to Lead, Laugh, Love.
Like when it comes to like getting feedback, I can't handle it. For me, I'm a baby bitch. Ah!
For being silly, it can go a long way.
Even if you do fumble and you own it, it can allow better connection than a perfectly well articulated sentence.
And so LinkedIn is becoming more mainstream, and it's where the business is. I don't see anything dethroning LinkedIn in the next.
As the algorithm tanks.
Eat your words, Mr. Sheridan.
I'm disappearing there.
Oh man, this is such a fun trailer.
Mic drop.
Too good. Too good, man. I might cry, man.
I know. We end with Brian.
Oh,
Like if we do like
Brian.
4 or 5 seasons, we're gonna be emotional at the end.
Let's do it again.
When it ends.
There it is,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. Season 1.
Boom.
mic drop, baby.
Awesome.
Stick drop.
Yeah. Let us know your ideas
All right,
for
guys.
season 2. Thank you guys so much. It's been a
Thank you,
pleasure. Thank you for joining Lead, Laugh, Love
Boom!
season finale.
What you gonna do?
Thank you so much, you brilliant, beautiful people. We are so grateful for your support. We had no idea how this was actually going to go when we put this show together, but there will be more. As you may have seen, the Beast Node is coming to life, and we are producing more shows. We'll have season 2 of Lead, Laugh, Love incoming, maybe some Wild and Out style for Ravi Rajani. And while we're plugging things, stay tuned for the official launch of the Beast Node podcast on 11/11. That is incoming on Wednesday. Would love to have your support. But that's all for now. Thank you guys so much. See you next season for Lead, Laugh, Love. Take care.